Hi, I'm Nils Hoffmann, a music producer from Berlin. Welcome to my Ringtone Masterclass. I'm excited to collaborate with OnePlus to provide you with an exclusive look into my music production process. To ensure that I never miss a creative spark, I always carry my OnePlus Pad and my OnePlus Earbuds Pro 2 with me, ready to capture and enhance my creativity. I came up with the melody that I'm going to share with you today, Arlanda, while I was on the go at the airport in Stockholm. So, as the first step, we're going to create the main melody. I'm going to open the GMS synthesizer, which is a built-in synth from FL Studio. I'm using the Bright Keys preset. We are going to start the note on the B and creating a counter like the next note on the F sharp, and the F sharp is technically a seventh above the B. Repeating that. And then we're going up to the C sharp, which is seventh above the F sharp. And then we're going back down again to the B. As we're leading into the next part, we're going to use the A, which is like a third above the F sharp. And then we are like repeating like the beginning of the melody again with the B, the F sharp, again the B, the F sharp, and then we're going again to the C sharp. Then we are having a different ending, so going down to the B, but also go down to the F sharp to have a bit of a satisfying ending. And this is our main melody loop. Let's see how it sounds. So let's get in some bass notes. Our loop is 2 bars long, so every chord or like every note in the bass line should also be 2 bars long. So the main melody will always stay the same, and then I'm just going to adjust the bass note. I'm starting on the F sharp. Have this in for 2 bars. Next up is the E. Next up the D, and then we're going down to the B. And this is about it, and this is just enough to like keep it simple but also interesting. So I've loaded in the GMS synthesizer from FL Studio, and I'm using the Volley preset, which is an emulation of a Wurlitzer. So we're going to type in the chord, and we are beginning with the F sharp, the B, and I'm going to put this an octave, and then also like play it. I have it 2 times, like one time like pretty near to the F sharp, and one time like an octave below that. The next chord is going to be based on the E. So we are penciling in again the E, but we're keeping the B below. So this way we have a really subtle movement in the chords. This will make the first and the second chord sound very cohesive, and the B is the 7th above the E, so it's technically inverted. And will sound this way a little more interesting than just using like the normal version of this chord. Next up is the 3rd chord. The bass line is playing a D in this case. So this time we're not inverting the chords, we're just sticking to the original format, penciling in the D as the root. We're playing like on the left hand, like this, and then we're just like putting the 7th above the D, which is the A, in for the right hand. This is the 3rd chord, and as you can see, we have like quite a huge movement in the chords. So this change will definitely stick out, and we also need to have this more in-your-face change in the chords because the first movement was like so subtle. The last chord is based on a B, and we are using essentially the same chord as as the first chord, but the bass is playing something else. So it's like, so the first time we've played the chord, it was inverted, but this time it's just a normal version of it, and it's again the B together with the F sharp, because the F sharp is the seventh above the B. Okay, let's go. The B, another B here, and then the F sharp. Okay, we've typed in the chord progression. We might need to pitch it up, but let's listen to this. As the next step, I would like to bring in a second melody to make the track more interesting, so it's just not like one loop that is repeating itself like the whole time. I'm looking to use a pluck sound because plucks are really short and plucks are really good for melodies because the decay time isn't that long, the attack is like very short, or there's almost like, and then we also have very little sustain or no sustain, and this will work perfectly for melodies. The first chord, I'm using the B and the C sharp, which harmonically work well with the F sharp, which is the foundation of this chord. In the next bars, I'm going back to the B, the A, and the A flat. So this creates some kind of tension also. So we're playing with the triad of this chord a little bit around. For the next chord, we're using the F sharp, which is like the third of the D here, going back to the C sharp, which is the seventh of the F sharp, which is like which is leading us to the next chord. And here we're using the E, which is the seventh above the B, and the B is the seventh of the F sharp. And yeah, let's listen to this. That's the range of the song. So I'm going to start with the main melody, and I'm going to keep the main melody in the intro and have it run and let it be there like for 32 bars. I want to use the bass line to create tension after 8 bars and then keep it in for the drop. I feel like the chords should be a little bit of a B part to the drop that I will create at bar 17. So they will come in at bar 25, and I also want to have them in the outro of this ringtone. The second melody, I feel like, is the moment of the drop. So I will have that come in at bar 17, but also in the breakdown after bar 33 to not have like an abrupt ending. The bell will basically be there like throughout the entire song, but just not at the very beginning, because there I want to focus on the main melody that we have. So as you can see, we have an intro part where we build tension. We have a second part where the second melody comes in and the chords, and where everything is playing together. And then we have an outro section where the tension goes away and everything gets a little emptier again. And yeah, let's listen to this. For the nighttime version, I would like to add some drums. I'm using the 909 kit. So we have like a 4 to the floor beat. We'll start with a kick drum on every hit, the snare on every second hit, and then we're going to have an off hi-hat between each of the kick hits. So it's just the offbeat, so you have like the offbeat rhythm, And then we're going to layer the first and the third hi-hat hit with a second hi-hat, so there's like some kind of variation in the hi-hat pattern. And I'm going to layer the snare with another snare, and then I'm creating a tom groove. The first hit will be on the offbeat as the hi-hats, and the second one will be close to the third hit of the kick drum, and we're just copying that for the next part. So we have a drum loop here, and for the nighttime version, we are creating a drop at the 16s at bar 17, and the drop will like last 16 bars. So technically we have like the sections intro, build up, drop, B part of the drop, breakdown, and outro like pretty much defined. And yeah, let's listen to that. Thank you for joining me today in this Ringtone Masterclass with OnePlus. I hope you've learned some useful tips and tricks that you can use in your own music production process. If you have any questions, post them in the OnePlus community and I will be back to answer some of them. OnePlus is inviting you to create and share your ringtones with the community. There are also cool prizes to be won. I will be looking forward to hear your entries in the OnePlus community.